Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. After a crazy busy summer, I am coming back. I am actually very excited about getting back to a regular school routine. It is much needed after crazy. It was a good time, but lots of unexpected things happening. So I hope that your summer was good and that you are also finding yourself like happy to be back and enjoying a regular routine. So our first unit for this year is one we've done before. If you've watched last year's videos with me, I was talking about how we are going to be redoing the Connecting Continents units from Gather Round Homeschool. This one will be about South America, and we're going to do 10 of the original lessons and fill in any of the places that we didn't study last time with our own study of those. So one of the first things that I do is I use Owl and Mouse maps, free printable maps that you can make in any size. This one I think is the 4-page one, but you could make this as big as a wall if you wanted. I don't because I don't have the wall space, but I pick a few pictures off of Google and I make this, and then you can see we've already started just picking some of the countries that we haven't with South America. Pardon? Dust. With South America, they pretty much go through the major ones, and we will do 10 of the major ones, but we're also going to be talking about the Sandwich Islands, the St. George Islands, some of the other littler places we are going to do, and I'm very excited about that. So we'll have studied South America in great detail by the time my children are done this. Sorry, this is like balancing on a single book. Okay, I think we're gonna be okay. I also make a banner. So this banner I used the last time. I just pull out that same banner, Dust, my silly boy, and I just pull it out again, and Dust. I pull it out again and reuse it. So in some ways, it's really nice to be able to reuse something that I've already made. Stay. Everything wants to fall today. I don't know why. So because of that, we are making sure that we have certain things in place. I also do, and I'm gonna reach here, because I forgot to grab these ahead of time because my brain is not in the YouTube mode just yet. I made these pretend fake passports, and so we are filling in. Like, the amount of places we've learned about is amazing when we have this record. I love it. So we're starting with where we're going again. And so we've got Guatemala and Panama. And so we're making our own teacher guide again. I think, did I tell you guys about, I don't know if I did. So I like to, with my pages, I like to make, now I know Guatemala is technically in the Central America thing, but again, I feel like, did our lighting go funny? Yeah, it feels like the lighting went funny. Oh well. It's a nice sunny day. I've got my light here, but for some reason it's looking funny in the monitor, but that's okay. So I go on to Google and I find things that are like the textiles of the different places, and then I cut them out and I make the pages a little bit more interesting. I'm just trying to find the other one. It's just a way to make their teacher manual interesting, and I just love that it gives it a different flavor. There it is. So they're famous for their colorful textiles, and so that's what I added there. So we are just starting that unit, and this year I like to do it in order, so from north to south. So we're top heavy on the research, and we're making it so that the IEW stuff is being utilized in a different way. The following video from this one is me talking in depth about making IEW accessible to my kids and their understanding in other areas and arenas other than IEW. And I'll talk more about that if you're interested, but I really feel strongly about them practicing the skills in other areas, other subjects, other places, so that it becomes a habit of just how they write. So I will talk about that in the next video. So for read alouds this year for the South America unit, last year I had read them this one, and so I'm really excited to change things up. The first one we're going to read, though, is the law. It's a choose your own adventure. I grew up with choose your own adventure. I think it's so much fun, and they're really easy reads, and so I feel like to kind of get things going, and they're silly and goofy and funny, and my kids really enjoy making those choices, and then us going back to, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of fun to be like, okay, that was the wrong choice, let's go back. And I'm not a stickler for no, especially when they don't really, there's not a chance for you to be like, okay, well, let's weigh the pros and cons. You just kind of have to guess and see, because the stories are so silly and ridiculous. But again, we talk about choices equal consequences. And so this is kind of one of those fun ones that I think is a good way to start our read aloud time. To go along with the Alexander von Humboldt. This is a novel actually written, a historical novel that includes Humboldt. So I think this is the one that I want to read, but I'm kind of tossing up between this one. I'm struggling, but I know I can't read two. So I'm like, every once in a while, I'm like, I totally want to do this one, but this one I feel has a lot of value because it's talking about ministry and faith, where this one is just going to be a fun one. So I'm still kind of back and forth. There goes my light. For my daughter, just stay. It's not going to work. For my daughter, I assign readers to my girls, and so my daughter Anara is going to be reading this one, The Lost City of Z, and it's a tale of deadly obsession in the Amazon about British explorer Percy Fawcett, I think is how you pronounce it, in 1925. And so I really want her to read this one. And then I've got this one for Sienna, Jack the Genius Lost in the Jungle. He is in the Amazon rainforest, so I feel like that's good. And yeah, so she will read this one. This one isn't, so you'll notice this year she is not reading as many graphic novels. That's the word I'm looking for. Because this summer she started reading a novel and seemed into it, and I was very excited because I've worked very hard for that. And so I think that this one, it's not too overwhelming, and I think she will have, there is some illustration, so I think she'll have fun with that one. So as far as our magazine rack here, these are the books, so I will always keep this one. This one is one of the most beautiful books that I have ever owned. Beauty. Like, just the illustrations are fun and vibrant, and yeah, I will probably keep this book for forever. But lots of information in it as well. but it's about the first, essentially, greatest inventor, naturalist, scientist, explorer who ever lived. And there's lots of places named after this gentleman. I have this book. Now, you'll notice that I have lots of novels and stuff. And again, I'm kind of building up a library that my children can read whenever they want, if they're bored or whatever. I don't have a place for it yet. I'm hoping one day to have a proper library where a lot of these reference books can go on a shelf. I'll have my own library. I love that idea. So this one is the untold story of Amazon and the violent fights for the world's last frontier, Masters of the Lost Land. So again, it's just, adventure stories that I think are important for my kids to read. Then I have some fun ones from before. So the Rainforest Explorer. And if I remember correctly, yeah, there's lots of pictures and different animals. And the pink river dolphin. So there's a lot that my kids can look through in these ones. Walking the Amazon 860 days, one step at a time. So again, somebody went out in the jungle, the Amazon River and the Andes Mountains and did all of this 4,000 plus mile journey. So he's going to be talking about that, which I thought was kind of cool. Another Rainforest book with amazing, I love the cutout, amazing images and stuff. And I think it's good for my kids to have picture books too. Speaking of picture books, this one was one of our read alouds we did last time we did this. It's The Great Kapo Tree, A Tale of the Amazon Rainforest. So yeah, just again, lovely, lovely illustrations and pictures. I probably won't read it to them this year. The Galapagos Islands. Every time I think about all of the different countries that I picked, I'm like, oh, I should have done this one. But there's not a lot of individuals living on the Galapagos Islands, so that's why I kind of chose not to do that one. But it's a fascinating place, and I think it's something that is worth looking into. Up and down the Andes. Some of these I think I might, because this one is a fairly young book, so I think that this one might be one that I pass on this next year, but I definitely want to keep it for this year. 100. I'm having trouble with my numbers today. 100 Facts of the Rainforest. So again, good book. This one is how sugar changed the world, and yeah, it's about slavery, and it's something that I have been sharing with my kids, is that there were more slaves in South America than North America. Now that doesn't mean anything as far as who was better or who was, anything. It's just a fact that I never learned about until an adult. It sounded like the US was like the epicenter of this, and actually the slave trade, I can't remember the statistics, so I'm not going to say it, but I think it was more than 60%, I think. But don't quote me on that. But there were more slaves in South America than there were in North America. And all of it is horrible and awful across the board. But it's important that we share the history so that, again, it isn't repeated. So, again, one of those. The Dancing Turtle. Again, this one is a folk tale from Brazil. Again, lovely pictures that my children can look at really quickly and decide, but it might be passed on as well. And then this one I love to pull out because it has pictures of across the world, but I can show you some of the amazing photos. Look at that. It's just amazing. Little hippos, I think, in the water. So there's just gorgeous, gorgeous pictures. It's a coffee table book that I love, 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 love to put out. I'm trying to find a good picture. So elephants. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find the rainforest first try. But yeah, no, this is one of those ones that I love to pull out. There, South America. There we go. It's definitely one that I enjoy putting out to show my kids. Yeah, and then they go on to something else. So that is what we're doing. That's what I have planned for my South America unit. I'm going to leave down in the description box a link to my Africa unit, because I talk more about how I do this 10 lessons and 10 research pages. So I will leave that link down below in case you're wondering, because I don't like to do the same stuff over and over again. I want to make sure that it's a little bit more clear, so I'm going to leave that for you if you're wondering, how do I change and adapt a Gather Round lesson to include new information and exciting information? So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.